So today's topic, we're talking about some of the most important things to do at the Google My Business, right? The most valued things to do over there. And it's not just about reputation. I mean, I know you guys have yours, and everybody is probably always working on theirs, right? And it's a good idea to go through and audit them once in a while. I went through mine even last week just to go back through and do some of the fundamentals. Like, you should always start with, complete all the business information, basically every single field there is, and the descriptions. And it's been a while, and we've actually added a couple of different service offerings now that I wanted to add in there. We make these really cool streaming review badges that pop up a review, in the corner, of a website, right? And then you can click on them to read more, and there's a click to call button. So really great things for a business. And I've done that for a couple months now, but it was not on my Google My Business profile. So I think setting some kind of reminder, and especially somebody starting up, right? And we got somebody new, they just changed locations. We'll be doing some work. We'll probably be rewriting, some of their descriptions, or adding staff, right? Which brings us to one of the second most important things to be doing is uploading more and better images. And so you want to get to a minimum threshold of 10, right, to be in the eyes of Google and the experts that I learned from, and information that I research and read. And so more is better. If you get into the back end, they'll tell you a lot of stuff that's geared towards a lot of a local business with the storefront. And there's many of us in the world and in H7 that don't have a storefront. So we really can't do the interior, the exterior, and maybe not even the staff. But it's still a good idea to have different pictures, maybe, of what you're doing. Of course, if you know me, we make the reviews into images, so we can put those on there, right? Maybe something about your products, informational pieces. And so that's another great way. And then when we dig a little deeper, we start, talking about getting reviews, right? Getting more reviews, which is my mantra. We get them on all the platforms, but certainly, the Google My Business is today's topic, and it's a keystone piece in the whole leveraging your reputation. There are ways to get a review link. They kind of changed that in the back end a little bit. It wasn't right there just to copy and paste anymore. You actually have to click the share button on there to get it. We did get that from one of our customers. Also in recent times, maybe, I don't know, since the first of the year, they've gone away from these short names, or these page names that people could get. Like I went and got at G2 Internet Solutions. And somehow in Google's wisdom, which they often do, they're always testing and they're always changing. Those went away. Now, so the links that had those in there still work. They don't offer the names to anybody anymore. They really don't have anything to copy and paste out of there. You have to click on the share button to get a link like that. I think Mr. Justin knows about it. Norm, did we get one of those for you yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, let me see if I can find a screen and show you what I'm talking about here.
I did get on your calendar, Greg.
Oh, excellent.
I set, I think, Wednesday afternoon, something like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I did take a look. I could see where we could modify some of those playlists or add some more in there, right?
Yeah, just make it where we'll talk about it.
Yeah. I'm just killing time while I'm finding my my
That's
thing
how
among all the open tabs that I have in the world here.
I created a bunch of short codes off of my website. So like GMB, YouTube, podcast. There's all kinds of short codes. A2 for hosting, Buzzsprout. And they all go off of my URL and get forwarded.
Yeah, there is lots of ways. We think short codes, QR codes.
Mhm.
There is surely a ton of ways to share those, and that's probably actually on another week where we'll be talking about that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and share my screen, guys. Share.
Yeah, I got these podcast URLs and a QR code. And
Right.
I just got to figure out how to.
So it's often right here on the home page. There's lots of stuff on here. Oh, wow. This this box wasn't here 2 days ago when I was doing it for my client. This little part to get the link itself.
Mhm.
And so I actually had to I don't know what I did. I clicked one of these things and then I got the link from there. And I was really surprised they took it away because usually they make it super easy. And I don't know if it was a glitch in the matrix. Google surely has had some that they've been talking about on the boards this week.
Mhm.
So the short idea, Mr. Norm, is in the back end to get your review form right.
Mhm.
Now, what's neat about this is that it goes, not just to your Google My Business thing, but it pops up the thing to leave a review, right? Similar, like we've done some of those tricks when we give them the link to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It not only takes them to the YouTube channel, but it opens the dialog box, asking them to subscribe. So it is.
You can do that on YouTube?
Yeah.
By itself?
You can do it on YouTube, so it does it has to subscribe. And so all we're doing, same old story. We are minimizing the friction in making it easy for the people to take the action, that we want them to, right? Because there's always a call to action, and we always want to minimize the friction.
Mhm.
And so this is one of the great ways on doing that, right? Is growing your Google reviews, get to at least 10, shoot for one new one each month, right? While we're on it, it came in number 4 on the data that I was going off of is responding to reviews, right? And so, look and see, even I got one that needs a reply.
I think Matt was drinking.
And so it is pretty doggone important. Google will tell you itself, right? I found this little thing out here, that it increases trust, right? And, shows that you value your customers and the feedback. They're right in the support.google.com. And so when we talk about these things and I talk about what I do, I'm even thinking about changing it to, instead of just about, reputation marketing, being, SEO, right? Because we're doing things that are absolutely proven and known, to increase SEO, right? These stats are pretty amazing, where reviews are a big percentage of SEO, right? As are these other Google My Business signals, right? And these citations, which is part of our bigger comprehensive program. But this thing it's like the second biggest factor, right? And it's because people love it, and it's a real thing in the world, and because that Google loves it, and it's not going to go away in one of these algorithm changes, right? Where they're going to be worried about mobile optimization or an SSL certificate or other things that you could and should be doing, right? But it's not going to be an A to B change. I can't imagine the time when Google's not going to give a big darn piece of this pie to the review section, right? That's why it's one of the most valuable things. So did that make sense, Mr. Norm, on how to get this?
Mhm.
And that should be like in your little cheat sheet on your own machine, right? You could do other things with that. You can put it in your email signature, leave us a review and then put that hyperlink in there. You could shorten it up. You can do a lot of things you already know how to do, right? And so that stuff is really a winning way to go. And it's all right near the top of the stuff to do, right? And you should be doing, other things. You should be paying a lot of attention on, your contact information, right? You can actually put, messaging in there. You can do text messaging in Google My Business if you want. I know some that do, and I know some that don't. Some people just want a phone to ring, right? Other people like text. You should take a close look at your categories, primary and secondary. They have over time, changed some of them, made some of them go away. So it's part of like a quarterly audit that that we're doing, for our clients, is to go back through and check on all this. We do other stuff monthly, posts, and we do stuff event driven for posts and photos and reviews, right? There's all kinds of special attributes that you can get in there. And again, some of them are more related to like a brick and mortar, so it would be, we have, pickup, we have delivery, we have curbside. There's a bunch of attributes that have been here, in the last year and a half or better, where, we spray, we have dividers, we require temperatures, right? Google has really gotten good on that. And so marking all of those off, you're doing great too if you're going in and updating your hours for all the holidays. And make sure you have the good contact email for your profile, right? Or if that changes, go in and update it, because they'll actually proactively reach out to you. Hey, are you going to be closed on Labor Day or Halloween or Thanksgiving or the Friday after or whatever, right? And so it's a good idea to keep that kind of stuff up.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What about restaurants? I mean, do they really need an email? Because they're so busy anyway.
Well, restaurants is another can of worms. A lot of, people are able just to integrate their menus right on there.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys don't want an email or a text, right? They're trying to get everything fully electronic.
Yeah.
But they should probably, more than most, any brick and mortar where somebody would waste time driving and you'd be closed, right? We make sure all of those, and we have some physical locations that we support throughout the country. And we're really good about making sure on those days off. And we have business procedures in place with calendar alarms, because many of these places change hours for daylight savings time, or they change hours for summer and winter. Perhaps maybe like in Arizona, right? It's super hot. These guys open at like 4 or 5 in the morning, right? To support the tradesmen. Maybe 6 instead of opening at 6 or 7 in the winter hours. They're shutting down early, so staying on top of that, and we not only do that in the hours section per se, the information section of it, but we will actually make a post about it, a Google post, right? Which can be done often, should be done often. You should have one every couple weeks, one every week, right? Talking about stuff. Another great section is highly underutilized in my mind, in my experience, is the question and answer section. Now, you may have seen this, and it's in lots of places. If you buy at Amazon, there's a question and answer section, right? And a lot of people often have the same questions, and you can find them right there. Guess what? This is my favorite trick. You can ask your business a question and then go answer it, which is pretty great. I suggest, doing a handful of them, and your frequently asked questions from wherever they might be in your business, or come up with them, or pay attention in the next week or 2 or a month to see what people are asking you, right? And so you ask and then answer the question, which you can lob yourself a softball, right? Do I really have to have debt? Well, you don't. All of the good things from your either your benefit statements, right, or the pain points that you relieve. I would put those right in there. It's low-hanging fruit that is essentially visible right on the knowledge panel in so many places. It's like, be the first to ask a question. So it is great low-hanging fruit. It absolutely qualifies in, what are some of the most important Google My Business tasks. And so I think about it not only in like the frequently asked questions, right? But do you guys know what a should ask question is? And this is a good example. Like a frequently asked question is, should I do, a post, or should I do pictures? Yes, yes, yes. And the should ask question is, you should be doing the question and answers, right? And so it could be different for, a house cleaner or something. Be like, well, you should do this and you should do that. The frequently asked this, but what you should do is, take off the extra part on the dryer and clean the other filter. Or for your car, like, everybody always asks, do I do the oil change? Yes. Do I do the air filter change? Yes. Here's what you should be asking. Change your cabin filter. Nobody knows what that is. Pain in the butt to get to. I think mine's behind the friggin' glove box. I have had the car for years and I haven't changed it. Point of interest, Norm, do you change yours?
Nope.
No?
I think it's come out piece by piece out of my vents anyway. Finding little pieces of foam rubber all over the, so it's like, okay, there's my that's what was left of the
Oh
cabin
my
filter.
gosh, that is crazy talk. I have heard people that had bad smells, and they couldn't figure it out, and they couldn't figure it out right. And then they took the thing apart, and they found like a freaking nest, like a dead mouse nest in there, which is gross. And it certainly qualifies it, and that should, the frequently is common, right? The should is like the expertise, right? Like
That's totally correct. I was thinking about how that relates to me, and people in my end of the world don't even know to ask the right questions.
right.
The common stuff is, well, how much do I need to retire? Or can I retire? Or, that kind of crap. And it's like, there's so many other issues, like, is it taxable? Have you looked in it? Have you put together a retirement budget and taken into account the difference is what it's going to cost when you retire versus what something costs today? And, have you looked into what you're really paying in interest? That kind of, people don't even know that they're not taught to ask the right questions. This is what you should be looking at, not the usual crap.
Thank you. And so you need both, right? You got to start with the usual, right? And then you can be the differentiator, or now that we've got those three, now let's really open up the conversation, Mr. Customer. Do you know what is taxable?
Do you have that on like a website or on your Google My
Business
page?
This topic is brilliant.
That's the question I should be asking, right?
I should. So everybody has frequently asked questions, right? I'm saying should ask questions.
I know.
And so this is a strategy. And so that tactically it could be deployed in our conversation today to frame it and reset the room a little bit, is that these are the top things to be doing on Google My Business. The specific thing is answering questions on Google My Business. Here's the should. The should is ask your own questions, right? And not only ask the frequently ones, but expose these should. But you could make these into videos, right? So people are like, I don't know what to make videos about. I don't know what to make a blog about. I don't know what to make a social media post about. Okay, do your 5 or 10 frequently asked questions. Do your 5 or 10 should ask questions. You just rattled up 4 to me right now, Norm. You got it nailed. It just shows your expertise.
I wasn't even counting. That was that many, huh?
And it often identifies a pain point and an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
To have a conversation or to give a service or to help, right? Because they go, oh,
yeah.
you know?
How much of my income should I spend on a house? How much of my income should I spend on a car? I get, those are frequent. You know, it's like, the answer is 100% down and nothing a month is what you should be spending.
Right.
Okay, Dave Ramsey.
I give people, well, no, I don't totally agree with Dave Ramsey. That I give people the benefit on a house. I have in my, like I'm working with the TikTok boys. I'm trying to get them on here. They should have a room on here. But anyway, another story. And they're peppering me with all kinds of questions to put out there on their videos. And what the hell was my train of thought?
Well, we were on the should ask, you know, idea.
Oh, the Dave Ramsey thing.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that they asked me about is about debt. I told them I have 3 categories of debt. Good debt, and I don't mean debt that's paid on time or late. There's good debt, bad debt, and stupid debt. Good debt is when you borrow against an increasing asset. That's, you always have something, like you always, like a house, real estate, business. That makes sense.
Right.
You're always, well, even if you know you never pay down the debt, you're always going to have at least an asset equal to what you owe.
I agree with that. We're going to get called back in any time, but I want to hear bad and stupid.
Bad is decreasing asset, such as a car, because immediately you're underwater. You probably owe more than what the car is worth. Realistic, or a TV, or furniture. Because let's face it, you buy shit, the next day it's worthless. You're going to get nothing for it. Okay, that's a decreasing. Yeah, I got furniture to show for it, but I got a debt that's more than what the shit's worth.
And now where is stupid?
Expenses.
Okay.
Borrowing to pay an expense, such as a vacation, Christmas presents, college. The second you make that payment, you got zip to show for it.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's the worst kind of debt, is debt, and that's most credit cards are. Eating out.
Right.
Those are expenses. There's no asset there. There's nothing to add to your net worth. You're borrowing to pay something that's vanished, and the debt goes on, the interest goes on, and there's zero there. At least with a car, there's something. It's
hard to argue with that one.
But most credit card debt is expenses. Groceries is expenses. It's not an asset. So there you go.
Mr. Grant Cardone has been posting a lot, and he talks about, investing into something that generates income, and then you pay for your other stuff with that.
That's how rich people do it.
Yeah, like buy a duplex and it throws, 150K, and then you can go buy a car with that.
If you read Robert Kiyosaki, A Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that's the difference. Wealthy people finance their lifestyles with their investments.
Gotcha.
Middle class finances the same lifestyle with their income, with their job.
Right. Excuse me.
That's the difference.
My dad used to tell me that was the word of the day. Job. It's like Justin, J-O-B.
Just
job.
Above broke, or just over broke.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Mark's going to call us back, I'm pretty sure. So that I kind of had one.
You may or may not. We'll get that 50.
It's going to give us a 2-minute countdown. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. He doesn't do that every week. So I mean, last time was with Phil. We just talked till.
I understand. We're practicing. This is going to be on the YouTube stuff. So we're refining our cadence. The last thing is that there's products and services that you can use on the Google My Business platform, right? And so even for me, like video is kind of both, right? I make a video as a service, but you get a file as a product, but either way, you can put those things, you know, on the Google My Business thing. So I you do like, oh, you know, I can even put like simple stuff like my reputation guide, right? Or my report card or review commercial or whatever that is. And I think you can even put stuff up that's free, like maybe, you know, somebody has a free consultation or discovery call or opportunity call or whatever that is that they call it. There is a section for that stuff on there. And so there's really, you know, a dozen places or better that you need to be paying attention to. It was sort of in a priority order, you know, complete every section, be meticulous, you know, the categories, the attributes, the post. I'm heavy on the review side because, like I showed the one graphic that, doggone it, you know,
What do you?
if you care about what people think and you care about what the internet thinks and what Google thinks, you make it a priority, right? And that's the lens that I often teach through, you know, leveraging your reputation, right? Building the insurance on your brand, because I found this really great Forbes article that through the buyer's journey, they probably don't even contact the salesperson, the company, to like 70% of the way through. So they're thinking about what they want. They're thinking about their choices. You know, they're looking at potential solutions, including you, right? And your competition. And if you don't look like the obvious choice and you don't look like the better choice, just to buy what they find, right? You don't get the chance to say, hi, how can I help you? So this is why this stuff really becomes an asset, right?
Do you think your service area is not as important anymore?
I think the service area, they're making, I've heard some changes on there, like you will or won't be able to do certain things in there. And again, Google does essentially whatever they want. They're generally well thought out. Things come and go and rules change in an instant. And that's one of the reasons that while I teach, I'm also a consummate student, and I have many mentors and many places that I subscribe to get this stuff. I see us counting down 10, 9, 8. Thanks, guys. We'll see you back in the main room.
See you guys.